The Buffalo Sabres in the dark blue uniforms joined the National Hockey League when it expanded to 14 teams in 1970. Like all expansion teams, they began with some promising rookies and a sprinkling of older veterans. Tonight, they're playing the tough Boston Bruins, Stanley Cup champions 2 of the past 5 years. But as they start tonight's game, it's the team from Buffalo that has the better record. And with only 1 week left in the regular season, the Sabres have clinched first place in their division and are one of the favorites going into this year's playoffs. It's April Fool's Night in Boston Garden, but the usual sellout crowd here knows that this talented team of Sabres is no joke. Only Philadelphia's Stanley Cup champion Flyers have won more games, and no other team in the league can claim 5 30-goal scorers. 3 of them, Gilbert Perrault, Rene Robert, and Rene Robert, all skate on the same line and have scored 126 goals among them so far, and they make this team purr. Rookie coach Floyd Smith smiles whenever someone mentions his French Connection line.
Well, first of all, I'm a very, very fortunate individual to have the French Connection line. It makes the coach's job pretty easy when you can look down the bench and you have the type of players like Perreault, Robert, and Martin. Individually, well, we know that Jill is probably the finest puck carrier in the business today. He handles it well, he passes it well. He's very, very fortunate to have an excellent shot, all the hockey sense in the world. He might be one of the top 3 or 4 hockey players in the country today that are the best. Martin is this goal scorer. You know, he's just one of those fellows that comes along every once in a while that's going to score 50 goals every year for a long time. Robert is probably the most all-around talented one of the 3. Rene's an excellent skater. He possesses a great shot. He handles the puck well. He's aggressive. He does everything real well. He just fits in, and the 3 of them just happen to complement one another. It's a pleasure to have them there. They're the greatest kids in the world. You'll never have any problems with them. All they want to do is play hockey. They're fun-loving kids having a great time setting this league in his ear. That's about the size of it.
Buffalo general manager Punch Imlach, for so long the guiding force behind the Toronto Maple Leafs during some of their glory years, has put together this marvelous team of talented young hockey players and would be the last one to be surprised by their current success. Every trade, every draft choice was designed to build the kind of team that would eventually challenge the traditional powerhouses in the league for the Stanley Cup. But even Punch has got to be proud of how fast this team has developed. And now Buffalo has the team speed, the accurate shooters, and the 2 most important qualities of a potential champion. They skate hard and long, and they fight for the puck all over the ice. The Bruins have beaten them only once this season and are playing a tight control game now, looking for the victory that will give them a pre-playoff psychological lift. With Dave Forbes in the penalty box for 2 minutes, Boston goes into a classic 4-man box defense, trying to hold back the eager Sabres, who somehow haven't won on this ice since their very first season 5 years ago. Robert carries in, but has the puck poked away and sent back down ice by defenseman Carol Vadnais as the opening period draws to a close. So far, it's been an even, hard-hitting game, and both teams seem to sense that the fireworks are yet to come. In the opening minutes of the second period, Boston is again playing 1 man short, and Buffalo works to get the puck to the open man. But Rene Robert pulls down Bobby Orr with his stick, and referee Andy Van Hellemond charges him with a 2-minute tripping penalty that takes away Buffalo's advantage, with both teams skating 4 aside now. Martin wasn't in complete agreement with the ref on that call and doesn't report to the penalty box fast enough for Van Hellemond, who slaps an additional 2 minutes on Buffalo, and now the Sabres must skate only 3 men to Boston's 4. Bruins have had one of the league's best power plays for years now, partly because of Bobby Orr and partly because of this man, number 7, Phil Esposito. Espo is once again the NHL's top scorer. He's the only player ever to get 60 or more in a single season, and he's done that 3 times already. Now he's only 1 goal away from his 4th 60-goal year, and it's become second nature for the Bruins to get the puck to the big center whenever they're on the power play. Bobby Orr, Boston's other record-breaking superstar, wiggles and weaves his way down ice, and eventually the puck goes to Esposito, waiting for it over on the right side, and goal number 60 flies into the net. The replay shows how Orr's incredible ability to shift direction so fast leaves defensemen flat-footed and sets up wide passing lanes for the other Bruins. Esposito's goal gives Boston a 1-0 lead at 6:16 of the second period. It was his 26th power play goal of the season, and that ties another National Hockey League record set in 1972 by, no surprise, Phil Esposito. Boston is the kind of explosive team that scores goals in clusters, and once they get up ahead of steam, especially here on their home ice, they sometimes just can't be stopped. They've won 34 of the 46 games in which they've scored the first goal this year, and Buffalo is in for a real test now. Rick Martin talks about his team's defense.
My job is more to score goals than to check, really, so, I'm always, sort of forcing offensively or trying to score goals, but this year, I think we've been playing better defensively. We all sort of told ourselves, well, it's nice to score goals, but it's also... it would be a big help to the team if we could maybe improve defensively, and we have. We're all conscious of our defensive play now, and I think the line is playing much better because of that. Like some nights when on tight checking games, we seem to just be able to have the patience to wait and capitalize on the breaks. There seems to be a real good anticipation amongst each other. We seem to know where we're going without even looking. We know that there's another guy there, and that's a big part of the game when you can just throw the puck around sometimes without looking. You make plays that look absolutely great, and sometimes you're just doing it sort of instinctively, and we seem to be able to gel very well in that way.
And a minute and a half after Boston's score, the Sabres gel very well again as Martin ties it up with his 49th goal of the season, beating goalie Gilbert with a wrist shot from close in. Buffalo, like many other teams in the league, had in the past become intimidated by the Bruins' offense, but tonight seems to be a long way from the past. Both teams know something special about each other right now. They know that a parity has been reached. The expansion team has grown up and doesn't concede victory as fast as it did in the old days. And the established Bruin team knows something too. They know they can't count their chickens so fast anymore because there's new respect on the ice for this young Buffalo club. It's something tangible, something that almost shows in the players' faces. New confidence from a Sabre team that seems to be skating towards greatness. They move with added grace, and each attack on the goal is carried out with speed and precision. They swarm around in the Boston zone, passing the puck around to each other, digging for it to keep control of the action and taking shots at Gilbert from all angles. crowd-pleasing Bruins know now they're in a game. They've had years of experience playing at the top, facing the pressure of winning, and they recognize Buffalo's energy as the same kind they had when they were out to prove themselves. And once again, it's Bobby Orr who stirs them up. The action moves from one end of the rink to the other in an almost continuous pattern of attacking and defending, neither team getting an edge, and neither team giving one. Then finally the tension snaps as tempers flare and the Boston goalie comes out of his net to fight for the puck. It's a costly mistake as he trips Sabre Jim Lorentz, and Boston is called for a 2-minute penalty. Esposito is furious, claiming he was tripped at the other end where no penalty was called, and referee Van Hellemont can count on one less Christmas card next year. Boston again must defend against Buffalo's power play, and that means watching a lot of guys who can score a lot of goals. It also means that sometimes the Bruins' offense is their best defense, and they break in on Buffalo goalie Jerry Desjardins, who makes a fine save on Esposito, and then Dallas Smith as the action swings back the other way again. But the second period ends with the teams still tied 1-1. The last 20 minutes of this hockey game are played as if both teams were already in the Stanley Cup Finals. They each know that the go-ahead goal now is as important as any that's been scored all year, and the Bruins of Boston and the Sabres of Buffalo leap into a whirlwind. With only half the period left, the marvelously gifted Gilbert Perrault gets the goal that puts Buffalo ahead 2-1. Bobby Orr talks about it.
They're a great hockey club. The French Connection line's an incredible their incredible hockey line. Gilbert Perrault, I think, is one of the finest hockey players I've ever seen. The way he handles the puck and the moves he puts on some defensemen and forwards, including myself. A few nights he's embarrassed me, but that line, it's a great line, and they've just got everything going. They're playing very well. They're getting pretty good goaltending. If they can get good goaltending, they're going to be tough because they're a good hockey club.
And now the Bruins are in an unfamiliar position for them, trailing the Sabres as the minutes in this game tick away. They put their best passers and the best shooters on the ice for their final surge. And Buffalo's defense stiffens, closing itself into a tight shell around their goalie, giving him room to see each shot. 2 minutes to go as the Sabres storm briefly into the Boston zone. Gilbert coming up with a pair of super saves to keep the Bruins alive, and once again they attack towards the Sabre net. In a desperate attempt now to salvage a tie, Boston replaces its goalie with an extra skater, and the risky move leaves their net wide open. The Bruins must win the face-off to control the puck, but it bounces around from stick to stick, and Buffalo shoots it up ice. Rookie Danny Gare comes out of nowhere and provides the finishing touch to a big Buffalo victory. Gare becomes the 6th Sabre to score 30 goals in one season, another new NHL record, and the win pushes Buffalo ahead of Montreal and Philadelphia in the league standings and adds more proof that these young Sabres have pushed their dream that started in October that much closer to the Stanley Cup championship in May. They believe they can do it, and after tonight, they aren't the only ones.